Alrighty then. I am betting that a couple of you, when does this class end today? 12:15? I am betting that a couple of you probably didn't really draw the picture like I said to. I'm betting that almost all of you probably went divided by 2. Because 2 goes into them. So I'm betting most of you did that. Hopefully you said, hey, wait a minute, 4 X's and 6 little guys that all had to be shaded in because, of course, they were negative, can only be divided the same way in groups of 2, yes? So it would have had to be these guys and rotate rectangle. That's what my son says all the time when you say anything. Dad, why do I have to clean my room? Because your room is messy. You're a messy room. Okay, boy. Good one. Now get in there and clean your room. Or I'm taking away your PlayStation controllers. Yeah, you're a PlayStation controller. Okay, I win, and the PlayStation controllers come to my room for a day. Because, Nathan, 2 by 3 makes 6. It is exactly like the grid thing. 1, 2, 1, 2. One of them had to be negative. So it was factors on the outside, 2 times 2x minus 3. If you had done it correctly. A great many of you probably only have the right answer. And between you and me, that's okay. Right? I don't care if you don't know how to do this. But you have to know how to do it one more time on the test. After that, it will only be worth 1 mark. It will be on the test. When we finish the unit, Nathan, just like the previous 3 units, I will have the test some amount of days after we finish the unit. The unit will take at least until we get up to quiz 2. All right. Factor algebraically. This is what you all want to do. No pictures involved. Of course there's no pictures involved because how would you draw the picture for x to the 4th? You would need to draw something in 4 dimensions, which you cannot do. So don't worry about it. Step 1 is always decide on the GCF. Is the GCF just the numbers? No, of course not. You must take into account the variables. What is the GCF here? 3. How many x's? 1. How many y's? 1. Step 1 is decide on the GCF. Step 2, divide everything by the GCF. Step 3, write the answer in the form of GCF and then all of these answers. 3x plus 5y minus 6x cubed y to the 4th. If you have that, I am perfectly happy. Some of you will say, oh, but Mr. Myers, shouldn't these guys be first? Yes, technically, but I don't care. But it would be a negative. Yes, then you would have a negative at the front, then you would take the negative out, and it's a big pain in the ass. Okay? That's why this is fine. Okay? All right. Now, what is the GCF here? Of course it's 11, but it's not quite 11, it's bigger. 22. Now, I'm going to show you something. Let's pretend you did 11, and then of course you did x squared, right? So I divide everything by 11x squared, which is what almost every kid does. And I get 11x squared, 2x plus 6y, correct? Now, of course, you would see, don't 2 and 6 share a factor? What is it? 2. So I would bring out another 2. 2 times 11 is 22x squared. And divide by 2 would get me x plus 3y. You must continue to factor until you can factor no more. Okay? Okay. What is my GCF here? I would like to use a fun color now. Ooh, that one. What is my GCF here? Higher. 8. C. No D. Why? Because there's no D there. So I divide everything by 8C, 8C, 8C. I write 8C first with another fun color. And then I write my answers. 3C squared minus 2D squared plus 7CD4. And then I am done. What is my GCF here? 5. So I divide everything by 5. 5. 1 minus 2z minus 3z squared. Yeah? Yeah. Now, everybody, excuse me, highlight that. Right now, there are 2 people in the room that know we could go further. The rest of you do not. So, remember, sometimes, and you will learn this in 2 or 3 days, you go on. No. You will learn what to do with that later. But right now, there are 2 people in the room that know what to do with that. GCF here. 3. Divide everything by 3. 3. G plus 2. GCF here. 4. 4D. 2 plus 3D. Yeah. Now, do we have to use just numbers? Of course not. Factor the surface area equation. SA equals pi r squared plus pi r slant. What is the same in both sides of that? So my GCF is pi r. So what do I divide that by? Pi r. And how do I rewrite it? GCF first, pi r, and then the answers. R plus S. And then down here, that makes it super easy, doesn't it? Because surface area equals pi r times r plus s. Pi, what's r? 5. What's 5 plus 2? 7. What's 5 times 7? 35 pies. Huh? But why did I need to? But they're the exact same thing. That, if I did it that way, is 25 pi plus 10 pi is 35 pi. How is that any easier? It's just different. Is everybody Gouda for grapes? Yes. It's like you read my mind, Satjo. When you turn the page over, what do I ask you to do? I ask you to expand. Is that what we've been doing or what we did first in this unit? It's what we did first. So, do it. Yes, and there's a reason I'm asking you to do this here. Hopefully, a great many of you are noticing single letter, single letter, single letter, single letter, single letter, single letter, which allows you to do a really handy little shortcut. Maybe you forget that handy little shortcut. That's okay. You're going to write it out normally, and then I'm going to show you that handy little shortcut again. Go. Now, see, Rylan, if I were my son, I would say, you're an illiterate. And then it would be like double insult. Last night, I believe my son referred to my daughter as a chiltepine, which is a small dried Mexican pepper, because my daughter asked to have the chiltepine passed to her. So my son said, and I quote, "You're a chiltepine." Ever, like including all my substituting? Sure. I've been in a kindergarten classroom once and once only. I've been in a grade 2 classroom once and once only. I've been in a grade 4 classroom numerous times. I've been in a grade 6 classroom tons of times. Not particularly. I don't really care. Kindergarten is least. No, kindergarten is the worst, especially with people of your generation. Because you're all wusses. You've never heard the word no.
It's worse now.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying, Nathan. When I was in kindergarten, we were used to hearing the word no. And we knew that grown-ups were in charge. And if you didn't like your snack, you ate it anyway. But you people have not been brought up that way.
I still want to half day kindergarten. I don't think that's
No, it isn't. I had half-day kindergarten as well.
I got to skip kindergarten because I moved from the States.
Ah. All righty. Now, some of you will have actually foiled this out. Hell yeah, what's the answer? Exactly. Bring your phone up here and put it right here. Thank you. Now, what was the answer? Now, why did you know that automatically, Satjo? Okay. Hopefully, some of you saw the shortcut, but some of you may have actually had to FOIL it out to get x squared plus 5x, 1, 2, and then minus 3x minus 15. And then you collected your like terms to get the answer. Now, then, if you don't remember the shortcut, then I show you and I say, is there a connection between negative 3 and 5 and 2? Yes, it is 5 minus 3. Then I say, is there a connection, because now they're green, between negative 5 and negative 3 and 5 here? And you say yes, because it's multiplied. And then I remind you of the shortcut that only works, thank you, Tushar, that only works when you have letter and letter, and that shortcut is this: x plus or minus a, x plus or minus b, always multiplies to x squared, and then plus or minus a plus b with an x, and then plus or minus a times b. That's the shortcut. Here, of course, you don't even need FOIL. 6x squared minus 8xy. Here, do you need FOIL or can you do the shortcut? Shortcut, which is x squared, and then what do you do with a and b? Add them to get 6x, and then what do you do? Multiply them to get 8. What do you do here? Add them. What's negative 4 and negative 2? Negative 6x, and negative 4 times negative 2? Plus 8. Yay! Now, we're going to do something crazy. We're going to turn back to page 126. I know, right? Whoa. The page that to that last question they said we have to stop at. Right? Now, let's have a look at this. This is the answer, isn't it? Right? Because if we're going to factor it, we're going to break it down, which means this part has to live inside the rectangle, right? Everyone agrees? And inside this rectangle, I need all three of these things, yes? So, how do I draw that guy? Big X. How do I draw that guy? 8 of the skinny shaded in bars, yes? Right? Because it's negative. And how do I draw that guy? 7 little guys, right? Everyone agrees? Okay. What is the only way I can draw one big box? I have to draw it as only one, don't I? Which means what's my first factor automatically? X and X. Agreed? Now, I have some options here, don't I? What is the only way I can write out 7 in a rectangle? It has to be either 7 down or 7 across, correct? Everyone agree? Okay, so I'm going to skip this guy because this guy's much easier to work with, isn't he? There's only 2 choices. If I go all the way down, that's going to make my rectangle look weird, isn't it? What if I go all the way across? We can do them both. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Or I could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Agreed? Now, where is there space left in this rectangle? Here. Yes? And here. Yes? Everyone agrees? Okay. Well, you're you smart young people. How many of these are here? So how many have to be here? 7. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, And these are all positive, yes? So if these are positive, how many of them are here? 1. And it's positive, correct? Everyone agree? Now, what then would happen here? What is 1x times 1 across? What would I draw here? I draw a bar. Agreed? But that's a mistake, isn't it? Because what type of bars did I need there? I needed shaded in ones, didn't I? So to shade this in, what would have to happen to one of these two? One of them would have to be negative. Right? Okay. So let's make that guy negative. So that would make all of these guys negative, wouldn't it? Okay, well, if they're all negative, these guys still have to be positive, don't they? So what would happen to this guy? He'd be negative too. Now let's check. 1x times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 1 negative times x, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 bars. X squared, 7 little guys, 7 little guys. And I made a nice rectangle, didn't I? Everybody cool? Now, most of you should notice that I started with the easy ones. The x squared and the single number. And then I filled in the middle. Everybody cool? Everybody cool? Now forget it. Okay? Shh. Forget it. Shh. Go back to the page we're working on, which is 129. Now, what is that? Factor or product? Factor. Because that is one thing times another thing, yes? Now, how would you expand that in 1 second? What is the shortcut you can do there? X squared plus, what would I do here? 4 plus 6. X plus, what would I do here? 4 times 6. And what would I get for an answer? Agreed? Everyone cool? Everyone can do that, right? So this is now the product. Does everyone agree? Okay. Rylan? Yeah, you can do the arrows. It's cool. Everybody's cool? Now, what would happen if I erased all of this and I erased that and I told you to factor that? You already know what the factors are, right? I just showed you. It's 6 and 4, correct? Well, how do you take this and reverse it back to this? I would do the same thing but backwards, yes? I would need 2 numbers that multiply to what? How did I get the 24? I multiplied to get it, right? So I need 2 numbers that multiply to 24 and add to what? 10. So then I say to myself, what are the factors of 24? Does 1 and 24 make 10 in any way? Do 2 and 12 make 10 in any way? Yeah, I could do 12 minus 2, right? But 12 times minus 2 isn't positive 24, is it? Do 3 and 8 make 10 in any way? No. Do 4 and 6 make 10 in any way? Yes. 4 plus 6 is 10, and positive 4 times 6 is positive 24. So that gives me x plus 4 and x plus 6. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you do these. So let's put it into perspective. If I have this, x squared plus ax plus b. So some number there and some number there. And I want to factor it. I need to find numbers that multiply to b and add to a. That's your job. And it must only be two numbers. No. You are always multiplying to the last one and adding to the middle one. So, let's look at this one. What must I multiply to? Negative 18. What must I add to? 7. Is it 1 and 18? Will they make 7 in any way? No. Is it 2 and 9? Will 2 and 9 make 7? How? 9 minus 2, correct? So my answer is x minus 2, x plus 9. Now some of you will say, but Mr. Myers, how do I know? What's 9x minus 2x? Is that 7x? What is negative 2 times 9? Is that negative 18? So we're right. Does everybody understand? And notice how I am not making you draw anymore. So let's look at this one. What must I multiply to? Negative 8. What must I add to? Negative 2. Is it 1 and 8? No. Is it 2 and 4? Yes. 2 minus 4 is negative 2, correct? So my answer is x plus 2, x minus 4. Everybody understand? Now, somebody always asks, Mr. Myers, I got x minus 4 and x plus 2. Is that right? Is it? Of course it's right, because 5 times 2 is the same as 2 times 5. Nathan. You always ignore the x, because you know x times x is x squared. That's why I showed you the drawing. What's this one going to be? I must multiply to what? 35. And I must add to what? Negative 12. Is it 1 and 35? No. Is it 5 and 7? Yes. How will 5 and 7 get a positive multiple but a negative addition? If they're both negative. So it is x minus 5 and x minus 7. Everybody good? Now, this is one of those rare times when I show you that I'm spending more time on the shortcut than I am on real life, yes? Because the way you really do this is you draw them out. But all of you would rather claw your eyes out with a hammer than draw out algebra tiles. I don't know why, but, nobody wants to bother to learn how to use them, and then everybody gets mad when they can't factor properly. I really don't get it. But since all of you hate drawing, I showed it to you once, and now I'm giving you the shortcut. Okay? So this one, let's have a look at it. What must I multiply to? Negative 20. What must I add to? 12. Is it 1 and 20? No. Is it 2 and 10? 2 and 10 will make 12 if I do what? If I make them both positive, I would get positive 12. But isn't 2 times 10 positive 20? Oh, okay, Myers, you're not fooling me. It can't be 2 and 10. It must be negative 2 and negative 10. Ha 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 ha! I got you. Negative 2 plus negative 10 is? Negative 12. But I needed what? Positive 12. Okay, damn it. It can't be that one. You're not getting me, Myers. It's negative 2 and positive 10. Because negative 2 times 10 is negative 20. I got you. Do I? No, because what's negative 2 plus 10? 8. It's not 12. Myers, you're pissing me off. It's 2 and negative 10. Because 2 times negative 10 is negative 20. I got you. Except what? Is negative 8. What do you think is the answer here? Have I been through all my possibilities? Of course I have. So what's the answer? It's the same. This does not factor. It's kind of like a prime number. It is important to know when you cannot factor as well as when you can. Because the reason we factor is to make really big, complicated equations simple. So if you factor something that doesn't really factor, you've changed the equation and you've ruined the whole thing. Does everybody understand? And you've seen this already. Were we able to factor this one? No, because there was no GCF. So this guy does not factor. It happens. Okay? Everybody cool? Now, what? I'm sorry, Sajjot? No, grade 10 is spent just teaching you how to factor. Grade 11, you'll start using it as a first step to further things. Because for some strange reason, we think that's the best way to teach you math still in the 10th grade. All right, listen please. Your job tonight is to try just page 130. Pay special attention to ones that don't look like what you know what to do with. Because you all know what to do with that, but that looks a little funky. But remember, is this the first or second kind of factoring I taught you? It's the second. So what should you do before you do the second thing? You should try the first thing. Everybody understand? Excellent. You do page 130 now, overnight. Class ends in 2 minutes, so you're probably not going to get much of it done now. Go. Satcho. Yes, you've already done the first one with a different letter. Some kids will say they don't know how to do the first one because it's got a different letter. It happens to me every year. Take your phone. Okay, if that was an X, wouldn't you multiply to negative 14? Okay, is it 1 and 14? Is it 2 and 7? Oh wait, yeah. 7, 2 minus 7 is negative 5. So it is y plus 2 and y minus 7. You got a free one. Why? Why?